Hey guys, welcome back. So, we're going to be discussing a few things today. If you've watched any of my videos about Nancy Pelosi, you already know how I feel about her. So, to hear her just blatantly say what she did so openly and admit she's proud about it kind of made me sick to my stomach.
Total game changer, a new president and a vaccine. So there's nothing to, these are different. What was then before was not more of this time, but that's okay now because we have a new president. A president.
That woman's ego is so fragile. If anybody questions her logic whatsoever, she's ready to throw hands.
Mistake not to accept half of a loaf months ago. He said, I'm not going to accept half a loaf.
I'm going to tell you something.
Now,
Don't characterize what we did before as a mistake, as a preface to your question, if you want an answer. That was not a mistake. It was a decision, and it has taken us to a place where we can do the right thing without other, shall we say, considerations in the legislation that we don't want. Now,
She thinks she's the fucking queen or something. She thinks she's far more important than she is. I'll never understand why people say that she's a smart woman. I have never heard her say one intelligent thing, one statement that ever made sense and didn't contradict something else she said before. Even Bernie Sanders admitted that the Democrats were the reason for the relief bill not ever passing.
Well, you talked about that $1.8 trillion bill that the White House, Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, was working on with the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. The Democrats walked away from that bill
right.
because they wanted $2.2 trillion, and they walked away from $1.8 trillion. Was that a mistake?
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Here was a proposal much, much larger. Democrats said, no, that's not good enough. And now
He admitted that they held it up and kind of seemed frustrated by it. They had the chance to have a ginormous coronavirus bill, and they turned it down. They said it wasn't enough, and now they accepted something, I believe it's like less than half of what the last deal was. Nothing was accomplished, and everybody involved should kind of feel embarrassed. They are a disappointment to America. There are so many people who need help, and it's taken this long. Things aren't getting any better. Restrictions are only getting worse.
Send in the clowns.
Story that got some traction but kind of faded away for a while has now reemerged, and it's actually kind of disturbing what's come from it.
The Army Secretary is also promising policy changes following an independent review. The murder of Specialist Vanessa Guillen sparked that review, which also examined more than 20 other soldier deaths connected to the post, deaths within a single year.
At the Fort Hood Army base, 14 people have been fired so far.
Well, many are calling it a disturbing look inside the Texas Army base. Today, the findings from the 3-month-long examination of the culture and climate inside Fort Hood.
The probe prompted by the April disappearance of Specialist Vanessa Guillen. Her buried remains found 2 months later along the Leon River. The suspect in her death, Specialist Aaron Robinson, killed himself as police were moving in to arrest him. Guillen's family said Robinson sexually harassed her at Fort Hood, but the Army says there is no evidence at this point to support. In addition to the Fort Hood firings, the U.S. Army says it will affect procedural changes across the board based on the report.
If it's happening this badly at just one base, this isn't it. This is just the beginning of something, I think. A former Israeli space chief has come out saying some crazy shit, and I kind of believe a lot of it.
An Israeli space official has claimed that aliens are real and secretly in contact with America and Israel, but are keeping their existence quiet because humanity isn't ready. Mesht, who was head of Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years and is a retired general, described a so-called galactic federation which supposedly runs an underground Mars base in a secret pact with Washington. But the aliens had to intervene to stop Donald Trump when he appeared on the verge of blurting out their secrets.
I have always believed in aliens. I have seen UFOs. I don't question whether aliens are real or not. They're fucking real. Supposedly, humans have made contact with like an alien galactic federation, and supposedly there's like treaties, and they're like trying to help us learn shit, and Donald Trump has almost spilled the beans. I feel like this explains why Space Force is suddenly a thing, and why Donald Trump is so invested in it. You don't just make a Space Force for no reason. That just kind of got swept under the rug, and I feel like not enough people like even questioned it, even thought about why. 2020 has had so many fucked up and crazy things happen. It's just, I feel like it's not gonna slow down. I feel like we're just picking up speed, and more crazy shit's just gonna keep happening forever. I just don't see an end to the madness. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts down below. Let's talk about things. Don't forget to subscribe, because I see many of you watch my videos every time but aren't subscribed. Subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye.